We make dashboard pieces with googly eyes. Coming up. Welcome everybody back to Just Plain Crazy. I'm Brendan. Thanks for joining me again here for another episode down in the lair, and it is time to add some pizzazz inside the cockpit area of this giant scale Seagull Models Zero that I picked up over at Gator-Rc. We can't spend all this time and put all this effort into making this plane super cool and then just let the inside fizzle where everybody's going to see down into. So we had to do something with it, and I really couldn't stand the aerobatic sticker they use for a dash panel on the inside. So I tried playing around with Fusion 360 and CADing some stuff up that would work in here, and it's not my forte, and it's taken too long, so we're shifting into plan B. With that being said, I did some research on the internet to come up with a cockpit for this plane, and this is what I found, and I wanted to share it with you guys and how I go through the build process on this thing to make it my own, to make it for this plane, and kind of dress it up a little bit. So the company I found was Dynamic Balsa. The descriptions and the links are down below, right down in there. Click on the description and go down in there and look, and you'll find the links to both of those. They do have a web page. It is dbalsa.com. They do consignments. They do incredible scale interior cockpit kits for tons of balsa planes, so you can pick and choose from many different kits and assortments, whether it's scale, semi-scale, but they do consignments on used planes as well. So you might even find something over there that you're looking for. Super helpful people to help me find something specific to what I'm working on and kind of work with it and make it my own. So dbalsa.com on the website, or the best place to go to really see what's coming and going in there is over on their Facebook page, which is Dynamic Balsa and Hobby. Go over there, check them out, give them a like, and view their information. So what comes in the kit? Let's pan you down and look. So in the inside of here, first off, we have some really cool instructions. They have numbers that you can see right there for all of the pieces. They also have here towards the back with all their instructions. They have tips for a better cockpit interior. So they give you some different tips on how to deal with the plastics and the resins and everything else that comes in here. So they got that. Now, also, if you're more of a visual learner, they got pictures on a disc that they sent with this one. With that, that's really cool and helpful as well, because what we have on the inside is a lot of pieces you cut out and kind of glue together, but it's really nice for me, and I'll show you why that is in just a second. So you'll see the numbers on the back for everything. So you got side pieces there, so you know what pieces you need. There is wood pieces in here to build things with. You have some aluminum tubes, some plastic rods, all kinds of cool stuff. They give you some pins to use for knobs and levers. Here you have a bag for, this one is the reflective gun sight in the inside of there, but you have a lot of resin printed pieces and some Lexan, looks like for lenses and stuff. Then we have some more resin printed pieces to give that 3D depth look to a lot of the levers and knobs and sights and everything else. So that's really cool in there and helpful as well. And then we start getting into the floor, the pieces in there, the side panels, and you're looking at this going, well, how are you ever going to get that into the inside of this interior? And that's a cool thing. I can cut and shape and make my own and do with it whatever I want. It's not going to go to Top Gun. Fortunately or unfortunately, I'm not that guy. So anyway, we got some more pieces, and then the one piece I really wanted is right here. This is going to be my dash panel, and I can't wait to get that mounted in there because it's going to be huge for this plane. And again, more pieces and parts, seats, bags to cut out and paint. So yeah, you're gonna have to get crafty here, but if you got some time to make some stuff work, you can really dress this up and really go bananas with it, or just kind of add some pizzazz. I'm not looking to spend a year doing this, but if we can go ahead and dress up our Zero a little bit and get you to quit shaking, if we can dress up the Zero a little bit and make it just not be, oh, why didn't you do anything there? Then that's what we're looking to do. So here was the issue. I'm going to take you guys off the mount here, and we're going to take a stroll through the lair. Remember in our last episode of this giant scale build, we put in all the stuff in the fuselage. So I don't have really any depth. I can't go down any lower than the top of the deck right here. And this kit does require you to cut the floor out to go down to put in all those pieces, so you can use scale pilots on the inside and really make it look phenomenal. I'm going for semi-scale, so we're just going to keep it kind of from the waist up, if you will, and put some pizzazz in this thing. So why don't we get to it? Follow along in the journey. Let's get going. All right, check this out. So this is what I've done so far. I varied from the directions, I don't know, maybe a good bit. But what's going on here is, again, I have to customize and make this work for me. So what I'm doing is I'm rough fitting pieces in and cutting and trimming and just trying to get a rough layout before I start painting things and seeing how this stuff looks. So I think I've kind of got the gist of my layout. I still have my headrest to cut and form, and then we're going to put that up here on the back. We're going to work on switches and knobs and stuff, but I think now that I have my layout, I think I'm pretty good. What we're going to go ahead and do now is we're going to pull out this dash panel, and we're going to start putting some gauges in there, cleaning up the holes in the trimming and the flash, and maybe work at painting some of the background and get my dash panel done. And then we're going to build back, paint, and start putting on features and objects. But for roughly an hour, I think we're pretty far along. All right, we're going to get back to working on our cockpit here and getting our pieces on the inside painted. We have our dash panel. As you can see, that thing is rough painted. We still have to do a dial on here, and we're going to fill in all of these gauges with actual epoxy. But I need to find epoxy that dries clear and stays true clear, and so far I'm struggling with that. The stuff that I've gotten that was advertised as clear is definitely not clear, and when I mixed up a sample and tried it, it has a yellow hue to it, which I don't want to clog up the actual look of my gauges. So we're going to fill that eventually with clear epoxy. For now, you know, as I've shown you before, we just have that stuff kind of hot glued into the back, so that's off to the side for now. And now that I have all these other pieces that I need to paint, this is just simply Model Masters paint. That's the color I want. I have quite a few pieces here that I want to paint, so I'm just literally going to shoot those with the airbrush. So I mix that with just a touch, and I do mean just a touch, of acrylic thinner. I'm going to shoot all this stuff so it has time to dry. I'll paint up a couple of the little tidbit pieces and levers and stuff that you'll see that we'll make here, but otherwise we're going to get to airbrushing here with our Benchcraft setup. Let's get to it. Now it's time to let this stuff dry. We got a first coat on our headrest, and then the, I don't know, I think that's a flap dial, whatever that thing is for. And then you can see some of the pieces that are difficult to hold. I just use some of these squeezers right here and just pinch it, and then that supports it upright so it's not falling over. We got all of our panels painted. We're working on some touch up here. Still don't have epoxy for that thing. And we got a couple of our white dials. So it's time to let this stuff dry and be back soon. Progress update. So let's see what we got. A lot of stuff going on here all at the same time, but all right, so we have some pieces installed. So that is my headrest assembly. That thing gets mounted up right there. We have painted, and we really didn't describe how I kind of did the look that I was going for here with this headrest. This headrest cushion will get glued in right there. But what I do is I go ahead and I paint some light black streaks underneath. And then as you start painting over the brown, only go as thick as you want to blend in that black. So it almost looks like a kind of worn or a tanned leather if you want. But I like the way that that turned out. It looks good. And I did the same thing here with the bags. Now these bags will get cut out. We're going to touch up the buckles with some silver. We are going to install some wood blocks on the back side here. Those will come out of our bag. So we'll cut off pieces and glue them in. And then the glued wood will be what holds it to different things. So you could see how we got our seats painted and airbrushed again. So those things are going in. All of this stuff, oh, look here, we got our Let me show you the little knobs right there. If you can see those white knobs will go on my dashboard panel right there. All the rivet heads now will touch up and will make black. And then we have like our side dial here for, I guess it's a flap dial or something, that will get glued on a block, and that will get put here on the side as a touch-up. We have a couple, let's find the other panel here. So this is going to be another actuated lever assembly. I'm going to paint that black. We're going to put a small wooden block glued on the back side, and then we are going to take these little T-pins here, little holding pins you can get from the craft store if you want, but they're in the kit, which is really nice. Those will get put through the top and it'll look like a selector knob. And again, that would be for actuation of something in this aircraft. But it gives it a nice touch without doing too much work, so we'll touch that up. These bags, once they get cut out, then that wood piece will glue in really nice to there as well. And we have a bunch of levers and knobs over here. I do have a couple of those painted, as you can see, and one of them will go right here. Here's the cool part. So it's really hard to see this in retrospect to the camera, and I don't know, right above my thumb, that lens is already installed and that lens is already installed. I don't know how well you guys, let me hit the back of the camera here so I can, so if you can catch that lens that's in there. I've been trying and trying and trying to find epoxy to fill those that doesn't yellow. And short of ordering crystal clear stuff from Amazon, I couldn't find any anywhere else. So I decided to go looking through the craft store, and this is what I found with googly eyes. Let me put the camera on a stand so I can show you guys what we're doing. All right, so the cool part is here, we're going to go ahead and perform cataract surgery. So all I simply do is I take my googly eye and I poke them right at the bottom. Sorry for bumping you. And then I just keep this thing at the bottom and I keep working around the base of the googly eye. And then once you have your googly eye cut off, if you have to, I dented them a little bit, just like that. We could fix them up. Look what I got right there. I got myself a nice lens that I can actually get to tuck right down on the inside. So all you have to do is just take that and form and push that thing into place. Like on these, they are a slight snug fit. So you just have to make sure that you tuck that edge down right there. And there you can see that we have more lenses. That stuff looks absolutely cool. I love it. So what do you guys say we get back to building this stuff and try and get some more done? So let's get to work. Look at all the googly eye pieces. Googly eye, googly eye. You want another awesome trick? If the lenses are too big for your slot, you can adjust them. All you simply need to do is take the old heat gun to it and shrink the size. You're welcome. All right, so a couple tips, tricks, stuff that I do here when it comes down to customizing and weathering. So I'm going to take a little mixing cup here. We're going to take some regular black Walmart paint, acrylic paint. It's like 50 cents for one of these. They're not very much. And literally, I just put in a blob of this thing. And this technique is called, I believe, pinning. So acrylic thinner. And we're going to make that stuff kind of like a soup. Not even. It's going to be more liquid consistency than it is anything. So you're going to take that stuff and you just mix it up. Looks like muddy water. I like mine just a hair thicker than water, but you can see, I mean, it's still, when you shake it, it just drips right off. So we take that and we'll set that off to the side. And now you're going to take a very fine brush here and you're going to dip it down in there. And I want it almost to drip off the brush. And what you're going to do over your rivets is you're just going to go ahead and take this and just let it blot right over. You can do this in panel lines, stuff like that, to accent it. But notice that I don't do every one. You can do a few there. You can go up here and skip one. Up here, grab another one. And you just let that stuff sit there. You can let it run, do its thing. And then I take a rag, and I don't smash it. I blot it, just to soak up the extra stuff that's on the surface. And that stuff will even loosen up a little bit. If you wanted to, if you went too much, then you can wipe away more. But what that will eventually turn into, if you guys can see it here, all right, you can see some of the blackened accent areas around there. And then on rivets and things like that, I will take my other fine brush and get that out of the way. And I take a little bit of silver and I just dab that. And you can do right over the same rivets if you want to give them even more depth. Just blot a little bit just to give it a worn, kind of tarnished appearance. Then we can rub, elbow rubs and stuff like there where it's scraped off some of the paint. So you can easily just add some accent points that way along the edges of things, anywhere you want to, where it looks like stuff may have rubbed on there, rubbed the paint off, and it makes it look really, really nice. It gives it a really nice look. So just a couple different tricks along the way. You can see here how our gauge panels coming out. We have to get the rest of the lenses put in. We got our knobs, we got the rivets accented on there and stuff, but it's coming out pretty nice. I like it so far. Back to it. So hopefully you guys can see in the inside of there. Cockpit is pretty much well done. Control stick is in, the other side is done there. And what we do on the back for support, we glue in the little blocks using just CA there. And then we will apply hot glue to the bottom. And we will go ahead and insert that down into there. And then we hot glue along the top edge as well. So that way it hot glues and seals down along that edge. So let's get the other side installed. Now we're going to go ahead and install two more levers. So these are going to go inside and they are going to come right out of that housing. And I have two different colored pins, a red and a white. And all we are simply going to do is cut those tubes to length and literally just hot glue those right in the inside of there. And then we're going to hot glue them down into the plastic. Well, guys, what do you think? Check it out. Let's pick it up, take a look on the inside. So for a semi-scale cockpit and what I had to work with, I'm super ecstatic with the way that this turned out. I couldn't ask for a whole lot more. Again, thanks to Dynamic Balsa. Don't forget, if you're interested in doing a cockpit kit like I did, there's still tons of pieces, guys, that I have left over from a full-scale cockpit. So there's pieces there, there's some pieces down over there, but ultimately, I'm super ecstatic with the way that this turned out. Again, I didn't have the depth to work with to make it a full drop down into there. And there you have it, guys. I hope you loved it as much as I did. That turned out fantastic. Again, I can't thank Dynamic Balsa enough. Do me a favor, go over and check them out on the internet, dbalsa.com, or over preferably on Facebook, which is Dynamic Balsa and Hobby. They got interior kits for almost everything out there. Super scale, super cool, actually super easy. And what was helpful is actually looking at pictures of stuff there as well that they put on the disc. So I can't thank them enough for helping me to turn this Zero into a very cool project. Again, so with that being said, I hope you guys liked it. I can't see how you didn't. Do me a favor, smash that like button. If you didn't like it and you're gonna hit the thumbs down, do me a favor, do it twice. Like, share, subscribe, all that cool stuff. Hit the bell notification and select all. With that being said, I'm just plain crazy. You're just plain crazy. I wish you guys happy flights. Peace out.